All right, let me mute myself if I. How come I can't?
We've got some
Oh,
folks joining us here.
Amy Majori.
Well, it's either Amy or maybe somebody's logged in as Amy.
Like I
I wouldn't
always
know who
say.
that would be.
Yeah.
You probably don't know.
I went to the little presentation they had the other day.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
good deal. So then you know who it might be if it's not Amy.
Yeah, I forget the fella's name, but
it's our esteemed speaker today, brother.
yeah, I forget the name. I mean, I've been running all day. Give me a break
It's
here.
it's all good, buddy. I know, and you're. I mean, I didn't want to. I was going to go that way, but I'm not going to go that way.
Craig's
Fabian's in the
here.
house. I was going to say why you might not remember, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to. That'd
Yep.
be the easy way out.
Yep. All that matters is Craig Shinnebarger's here.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I was
Welcome,
going to
everybody.
say.
Welcome. We're getting started here. Craig Schinneberger is here. Fabian is here.
All right.
What's going on, Fabian? Oh, he can't hear me, or he can't speak, or something. Sean, are you out there, or is that your lovely wife?
No, it's me. I'm just getting everything set up, bud.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good. We didn't know it. We had some folks out here questioning who it was. They saw the name and they thought,
Yeah, they thought it was somebody important.
they're gonna love you, brother. They're gonna love you. Let me share my screen. I guess since we are live on YouTube, hopefully you all don't mind that. We are
I
live
didn't sign
on. You didn't sign the
I didn't sign a waiver.
You didn't sign the waiver. Dang it!
Yeah,
you gotta
use my image.
You got to read the one that we give you at the conference. It says forever.
Oh wow! Right.
It says anytime you're around Rich, you might get your picture taken.
Yeah. Make me famous, man.
No, that won't happen. That won't happen. Bettina Miner is here. How you doing, Bettina? Oh, you're muted. And so is Fabian. You're still muted. There you go. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Ask you to unmute.
Okay, there we are.
There you are.
Hey, Bettina.
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm blessed. So blessed. So blessed.
Good deal. We've got some folks joining us. They're coming in as we speak. Folks are joining us as we speak. Tell you what, folks, what I'm going to do is as folks are coming in, I'm going to I'm going to kick this off. We are live on YouTube. So, people, if they catch YouTube and they see the first 7 minutes of me just sitting around twiddling my thumbs, that's not going to be very, grasping, right? And I know Chuck's out there driving his car. He said he could jump on for a couple minutes. What's going on, Chuck? How are you?
Good, buddy. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. Good to see you. And good to see you out there kicking tail, man. It's great to see.
Yes, sir. It all started with the Gateway to Freedom. It really did.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Right on.
It was crazy, man. It was like a door opener.
Man.
It was I'm so glad I went. So.
And I'm glad you went too, man. I'm glad you went too. I may have to hit you up for a testimonial.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome. Well, hey, folks, here's what we're going to do. This is the Monday Night Zoom, Gateway to Freedom Monday Night Zoom. We meet on the first and third Wednesdays of every month, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 8:30 Eastern. That's 6:30 Mountain and 5:30 East Pacific. Sorry, almost went backwards. And as you all know, that a lot of you are returners, and we do have some first timers here as well. Travis Wakefield is in the house. How you doing, sir? Woohoo! I'm going to kick it off with you, my man. Oh, I didn't know I had this going. I thought I took this off the slide, but why not? There's the theme song going right there. So, welcome to Gateway to Freedom. We'll get off that. Who is Rich Groves? Why are you here? Why are you sitting here talking to me? Not because of me. I'll tell you that. It's because of our guest coming up here in a moment. My name is Rich Groves. I'm from the St. Louis market. If you don't know that, that's both Illinois and Missouri side of the St. Louis area. I did my first rehab, bought my first rehab property in 2005, and I help people make double-digit returns on their money. I hope you like that, Sean. Anyway, But that's what I do. And what I'm going to do is go around, and if everybody could just give a rocket fast, quick intro of who you are, in 5 or 10 seconds, give us your name, your market, your investment strategy you specialize in, and drop your name, cell phone number, and email in the chat if you would, because we're going to cut this right at 8:30 East Central. We're going to cut this. That's my promise to you, right? I'm getting better. That's one of the things I'm working on here in 2026 is my time management skills. And that means if I say it's going to be an hour, we're going to be an hour. And that means I'm going to cut off at an hour. I'm going to turn off my mic. I'm going to turn off my camera. If you want to stick around and network, I'll leave the Zoom going for a while, but I'll take off the YouTube live and turn off the camera and microphone. But if you want to stick around and network, you can. But the great thing about the Zoom is if everybody drops their name, cell number, and email in the chat, you can always download the chat and you should be able to reach out and network with folks. Now, again, if you don't feel comfortable putting your name in there or your email in there, that's fine. Don't do that. Just put in your name, your market, whatever, so we know who was here. But we'd love to have you do that. So I'm just going to go from the top of my list here, and I'm going to start off with, well, folks, if you didn't know this already, it's Mom. Sandra Groves, how you doing? How about you kick us off? You got 5 to 10 seconds.
Hi, this is Sandra. Yeah, Rich's mama. I'm just sitting in trying to learn a little bit about the real estate market. So nothing to see here, just listening in.
Well,
Everyone is so exciting.
Yeah, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Stephen Drake, give it to
Hi.
us, buddy.
My name's Stephen Drake. I'm in the St. Louis market. I'm a landlord and a flipper. And that's pretty much about it. Although I did buy a bunch of flooring from Garrett today.
Hey,
All
nice.
right.
See? I told you go see my man Garrett.
I did.
Appreciate that, buddy. Way to go. Fabian, how are you, sir?
I am doing great, Rich. What about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Except, I can do without that New York Yankees hat. But other than that, if it was an LA Dodgers hat, I'd be happy.
It's all good. Fabian Shen market is I'm here locally with Rich and Stephen here in the St. Louis market. Investment strategy, fix and flip, buy and hold. I'm currently transitioning from single family over into the commercial side. So I have 3 quadplex in Tower Grove South and picked up a 6-unit apartment building across a farmer's market out in Soulard. So transitioning away from single family into commercial side, multifamily units.
Man, that's awesome, brother. Appreciate that. I love seeing you killing it too, man. But you've been doing that. You've been at this for a while now. But I do love seeing
It's
you.
not as long as you have, but
well,
trying to get there.
Shoot. No, you're fine, brother. You're great. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Chuck, I'm going to call back on you, buddy. Chuck,
Yes,
tell us
sir.
all about yourself.
Yeah, I'm in the St. Louis market. I do slow flips, fix and flips. Also own a gym full time. Love real estate. Been in it for 16 or 10 years now. So loving it. So
That's
great.
awesome.
I put my information in
That's awesome.
in the chat here.
Heck yeah. And I really do encourage you all to reach out and keep networking with each other, man. Build this network. I'm trying to build a community here and there's a lot of pieces, a lot of moving pieces. People do things a little different here and there. But one of that thing in real community is I want you all to feel connected and that you can reach out and talk to each other and piggyback off each other because I don't want to hoard that information. So please keep doing that. Craig Schenneberger, how are you, sir? Tell us about yourself. Give us your 5 to 10 seconds of fame.
Hey guys, I'm doing really good. Thanks again, Rich, for doing this. I'm local right here, St. Louis market. Stay into the South City, South County. Got one in Baldwin, actually. Yeah, fix and flip. I've got a couple rentals. Got a 4-family that I've had for 11 years. Coming up on my 11th anniversary of that, so that's exciting. And trying to add to the portfolio. Got a couple to sell pretty soon too.
Ooh, make sure you get Craig's information so you can talk to him about it. You can hound him about selling what he's wanting to sell. Appreciate you being here, Craig. Thank you so much. Ms. Miner, Bettina Miner, give us your info. Give us a scoop. Spill the tea.
Hey, my name is Bettina Miner. I do a lot of virtual wholesaling, and I am definitely the best boots on the ground in Illinois and Missouri. And I just recently got my first buy and hold. but I want
Ooh,
to make it as a co-living. Yes, yes. So I'm gonna
Yes.
reach out to you Rich, on that one.
absolutely.
Definitely gonna reach out to you on that.
That's fantastic. Way to go, Bettina. I know you've been fighting and struggling and getting through it, and you're seeing the dividends pay off now.
Definitely that.
Fantastic. Travis Wakefield, sir, how are you?
Hey, good evening. How you doing, man?
Not bad, buddy. Tell us all about yourself.
Hey, I'm Travis Wakefield, and I buy in St. Louis, but we buy a lot more stuff in southeastern Missouri. And I'm a landlord and a flipper as well. And got into real estate in 2014 and was a wholesaler for the first 7 years. And I don't do much of that anymore. I buy to hold and buy to flip, and rehab, etc. Multifamily, single family, and I'm just here to learn so I can feel the burn, baby.
That's that's right, man. No pain, no gain. No, that's great, brother. Appreciate you being here. For those of you who don't know, Travis was the cohort that started that other meetup I run. It was his great idea, and we ran with it. And then he bailed on me. But it's all right. We're gonna forgive him on that. No. But anyway, Jason, what's going on, sir? Man, it's been a long time. How you doing? Oh, he went. Did you go mute? You want to talk? You don't have to.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
I couldn't figure out how to turn it on. My name's Jason Porter. I do a lot of wholesaling in St. Louis market. I do a lot with mobile homes also, so I fix and flip mobile homes and wholesale them also.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Diana Beckham, how are you? Got you muted. Give us. I know you just got in the room, and I'm going to tell you what we're doing. So everybody's got basically 5 to 10 seconds. Give us your quick elevator speech if you could, in 5 to 10 seconds. Give us your name, your market, what your investment strategy is, and then make sure you drop your name, cell number, and email in the chat if you feel comfortable doing that.
Well, hello. I am Chuck Beckham's wife, and I just decided to hop on.
Yeah.
So I learned about slow flipping indirectly through this group. And so that's what we pivoted to about 1.5 years ago. So we got 6 now. We had some buy and holds. We got rid of those. We're just doing slow flips and a little bit of wholesaling.
That's awesome. Appreciate you being here, both of you.
Chuck had to hop off, but I decided he sent me the link, so I thought I'd hop on and listen.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Absolutely. Timothy A. I've got a Timothy A. out there. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Thanks.
Great. Do you give us your name, your market, your investment strategy? Kind of just give us a rundown of who you are.
Yeah, I am green. I am kind of listening to learn. I live in St. Louis. I am interested to acquire a property. The idea hopefully to be to acquire a few properties, ideally to put a little sweat equity, renovate a little bit, and be able to rent them, but just kind of open to where opportunity might lie. But like I said, I'm pretty green, so kind of listening in and seeing what others might share about pitfalls, stumbles, whatever that have happened, and learn some lessons before I step in those areas.
Oh, absolutely, man. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. This is your first time on the Zoom?
Second, it's been a while since my first one.
Okay, maybe that's why. I was like, okay, I feel bad whenever I don't recognize a name or something, so I apologize. But thanks for coming back, yep. And hopefully we can ramp you up real quickly.
Sounds good.
Awesome, thank you, Carla Bush. You're out there. Are you able to unmute and talk to us? Give us a little information about yourself.
Hey there, everybody. Hi. Hello, Craig.
Hey, Carla.
I'm Carla. I am originally from the St. Louis area. I now live in Texas. And so this is my second time to join in on the Zoom meeting. And right now I'm on the investor end, or I have a little bit of experience on the investor end, but I'm wanting to check out and learn all kinds of options and see what's out there for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Carla. Thanks for being here again.
Yeah.
Glad you're back.
Thanks.
Awesome. And we see Jay. Jay, how are you, sir? Can you unmute yourself and tell us all about yourself?
Hey, I'm Jay. I do small multifamilies in St. Louis. So yeah, fourplexes, and then I also do a consultant on the abandoned commercial properties. Just here to keep learning. Thanks.
That's fantastic, man. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. And let's see here. I think I've got, and is it Joshua, right? Is that's how you say it, right? It's Joshua, right?
Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Yes, glad I said it. I know when I met you and you said it in person to me, I wasn't going to forget it. Joshua, how you doing, buddy? Tell us all about yourself.
I'm doing good. My name is Joshua Davis. I'm in the St. Louis market. I just started actively wholesaling probably about a month and a half ago. So really here just to learn and, make some connections.
Fantastic. You just like you say actively, you like literally just got your first property under contract like within that time, right?
Yes, sir. And it's already been paid out.
Oh, that is fantastic, brother. That's the proof of concept, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir.
It's not just about the talking now. It's not just about all these words. It's real.
Definitely made me a believer. I'll tell you that.
That's great, brother. Well, thanks for being back. I'm glad you're here. And folks, what I'm going to do now, actually, if you don't know already, is just let me run down real quick. The next one isn't until the first Monday of April, I guess is the next month. So that's April 6th. If you need the link to that, because it is separate, the first Monday of the month is a different Zoom link than the third Monday of the month. I got to figure that part out. But for now, it's two different links. So if you need the link to that, let me know. I'd be happy to get it to you. And yeah, that I want to make sure I do for you. And tonight, though, let me tell you, tonight I'm super excited. Are you good to go, Mr. Special Guest? But we have a fantastic special guest, and I was overly excited. Couldn't contain myself. I reached out to Sean and asked him if he'd be willing to speak to our group about what he is the master in. And Sean's a humble guy, but he probably doesn't like me calling him the sales and negotiation skills master, but he is fantastic. I don't know. And for those of you who don't know what I do on like my W-2, I'm a trainer, and I started out as a sales trainer for AT&T Wireless back in the day. And I've come across a lot of sales trainers and sales tips and all this kind of stuff. Literally, seriously, in person, I do not think I've ever seen somebody as skillful and masterful in the tactics and skills. And I don't mean tactic in a negative connotation at all, but somebody who knows sales and negotiation better than Mr. Sean McNicholas. And if you haven't figured it out already by his handle, Sean, I met Sean whenever I went to Amy Majori's Raising Private Money conference, and absolutely fell in love with Mr. and Mrs. McNicholas. I'm going to kick my butt for saying that, right, Sean?
Kind of, yeah.
But
I could get her finger, but just not her name. Right. Oh man, but the folks are fantastic, and Sean is incredible, 100% real person, and I absolutely am so ecstatic that he's here to pour into you some sales and negotiation skills tonight. Sean, take it away, sir. You're but you're not off the hook too. Give everybody your 5 to 10. No, I'm joking. Do your thing, brother. I appreciate it. Well, first of all, if you don't know Rich Groves, when he asked me to do this, I said absolutely, because nobody has got a bigger heart than that guy. And for those of you guys who have known him for a long time, know what an incredible human being he is. He is a great product of our system and our process at RPM, but he's just a better person than he is anything else. And he's taught me what it is to be a man and a father and a husband. And he's taught me more than Amy and I will ever teach him. So very, very honored to be here. Very honored to be a part of everything that is going to be our 30 minutes together. I'm going to share my screen and try to figure this out. I got Amy's studio here, and I don't know how half the stuff works. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. You should be looking at, let's see here. Can you see my slides, Rich? Because I'm off of Zoom now, and I don't see anything.
Yeah, it says in big black, Sean McNicholas, and then below that's just looks like part of a top of a palm tree.
All right, hold on one second, guys.
Yeah, no
I'm gonna
problem.
get my AV person here. Amy, hey, I need help, babe. This is why, like, one thing you're going to learn about me, guys and gals, is that I am dumber than a box of rocks, but I'm really good at following systems and processes. And when it comes to technology, I'm the absolute worst human being in the world. But hopefully, Amy will come in here in a second and save the day. But let me try it this way. Let me go play. No, you're only going to see a piece of it, right? Stop sharing keynote. How about now? No?
Yeah, actually, I think so. It's
Yeah, it's
big black
fine.
screen with two pictures.
And my handle and my name?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, I can't see you guys anymore, and I won't be able to see
Uh-oh.
the chat box or anything, but Rich will
Yeah.
keep track of that. But
Absolutely.
for those of you guys who I haven't met yet, my name is Sean McNicholas, and over the last 16 years, I can't believe I'm saying that, I've been a part of hundreds of real estate transactions. And the result of that is I was financially free by the time I was 40 years old, which is weird to say. But now my life didn't start in real estate like a lot of people growing up. I didn't know what I wanted to be. But one thing I knew for certain was I was going to be a professional athlete, so I didn't need school. I actually sat in the back of the room and practiced my autograph every day because I knew I was going to be a professional athlete. And that dream actually came true for me. After I was done playing college football in Western Pennsylvania at a small little Division II school, I was actually picked up by the New York Jets of the NFL. And the old joke is the NFL stands for not for long. My career lasted a total of 6 weeks. I got a $75,000 signing bonus and thought I could retire, but my dad did some quick math with me and realized that 75,000, especially after taxes, wasn't quite enough. So I had to go out and get a job, and I landed in the corporate world. And this was probably one of the most important decisions of my life before I ever got into real estate. I could play it safe and I could go the traditional route and I could get a W-2 job and do that 9 to 5 thing, or I could go into commission only sales. And to me, that was a turning point. And I decided to go into commission only sales at the ripe age, right after college, right after the NFL, of 22, 23 years old. And that decision really set up the rest of my journey that I'm still on right now. And got into commission only sales, worked in the corporate world for a Fortune 100 company, and did really good at the corporate job, and was building wealth. And I did whatever tradition taught me to do. I just quickly noticed that 9 to 5 quickly turned into 8 to 6, and then 7 to 7. And I was working really hard and I was doing what tradition taught me to do, but I just wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy, even though I was quote unquote successful. And then I saw an opportunity to go and flip a house. And I decided to flip a house in Irvine, California, 25 Shady Side. I'll never forget it. And I decided to flip a house because I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And after you read that book, you think you know how to flip a house. And Robert Kiyosaki was in my ear the whole time. And I bought it, renovated it, sold it, made over $86,000. I was living in Southern California at the time, and this was back in 2006, and the market was just doing this. And I didn't know what I didn't know, and I really just got lucky. So I decided to buy 4 properties at the end of 2007, and then the market shifted. I didn't have multiple exit strategies. I wasn't educated. I ended up losing 2 properties to foreclosure, 2 properties to short sale. I lost $350,000 of my own cash, and I declared bankruptcy. So I am the prime example of what education really requires, right? I'm a prime example of someone who thought they could figure it out on their own, and I just wasn't able to. And I knew real estate works, but I had to figure out how to work it. And then I saw an infomercial on TV at 1:30 in the morning offering a free event in Los Angeles. I went to it. I signed up. I signed up for their coaching program. I ended up meeting my wife, Amy, through the same coaching program, and started in residential, flipping, wholesaling. I started in Northeast Ohio, where I grew up. I'm originally from Chicago, and started in Northeast Ohio, where I grew up. Started buying rentals, single family, multifamily. Met Amy along the way through our coaching program that we were both part of, that we were both coaches in. Then we moved into commercial real estate in 2015. And since then, we've invested in, we're part owners in over $500 million worth of apartment buildings and second generation shopping centers.
I actually just totaled the doors for the first time, and we have 1,150 doors total between single family and multifamily, and some were limited partner, some were general partner. But I still remember day one. I still remember what was to be in that seat and not knowing what I didn't know. So whether you're brand new or you're experienced, one thing I know is there's always a progression to learn, and we can always learn more and be more. But the reason why Rich brought me on here is I've been able to help people take sales and negotiation and bring it to the real estate world, because communication is everything we do in our life, but it's something that none of us practice. It's something none of us learn about or train on. And communication is vital to business. It's vital to personal relationships. It's vital to a spouse, partner, significant other. It's vital to your kids. And what I learned is how important that sales background was when I got into real estate. My ability to negotiate, my ability to persuade, my ability to let people sell them on something I wanted them to sell themselves on. And one thing I love about real estate is, and to me, this is life. Sales is not manipulation. Sales is not getting someone to do something you want them to do, right? It's not manipulating them to do something you want them to do. Sales to me is helping people discover what they ultimately want to do for themselves. And I've just been blessed. I've been very fortunate. I've had some amazing mentors in the world of sales, negotiation, and influence. And now I teach this stuff. I'm actually more passionate about teaching, and Rich will tell you because he's been in my 2-day class. I'm more passionate about teaching sales and negotiation and influence than I am about real estate, because that transition of being a real estate investor who's educated and a sales and negotiation background, the influence you have, negotiation skills you can create, and the fact that you can truly serve people. But more importantly, I'm a better husband. I got a 6-year-old little girl. You see her, me throwing up there in the air, hurt my shoulder multiple times doing that because we had to take multiple takes to do it. But better husband, better father, better son, better just uncle. To me, communication is one of the most important things that none of us practice, none of us train on. And that's what I'm here to help you guys with if you'd like it. So first thing I'm going to do, like I always do, is just congratulate you guys for being on here. There's so many people who are sitting on their couch watching Netflix right now, or watching some stupid game and rooting for people and putting another man's name on the back of their jersey and thinking they win something when they win something. But you guys are here. So I'm in trainings like this all the time. Rich will tell you, I'm a student today as much as I was 16 years ago when I first started real estate. We are still actively in the business, even though we're cash flow free. We do this business every single day. But what's so cool is I've been able to help so many people like you guys who are on this call, just give you a few tools and a few strategies of how to get better, discounts when you're talking to your contractor, or how to be able to negotiate just a little bit better and create win-win scenarios. My buddy Maurice, who Rich knows really well, he actually sent this to me not too long ago. He said, right after taking Sean's class, I had a situation where the seller was in a bad spot. We've all been there, right? But was still demanding and hard to work with. I started to communicate if I wasn't in the water, and he was, and ended up getting to close house under contract for $40,000 less than I was willing to pay. We're going to talk about what in the water is and what out of the water is. So I thought this would be a good testimonial for you guys. I ended up making over $100,000 on that deal. To date, this is still the most I've ever made on one transaction. It was all possible because of Sean taught me the difference in communicating, hoping it goes well compared to communicating, knowing it will go well. And the tools he has equipped me with has made me a better real estate investor, but most importantly, a better father. I'm forever thankful for the amount of effort and education Sean has poured into me. So I love this stuff. I love teaching it from the personal level, the business level. So I'm going to give you guys some strategies today, and we're going to talk about how to put yourself in the best situation when you're communicating, when you're negotiating, when you're in a sales situation. And again, sales has a negative context because we've all dealt with bad salespeople. But as long as we come from the context of good, and sales is not manipulation, it's just helping people discover what they ultimately want to do themselves, we're going to leave in a better spot. And I know Rich brings the right people to a group like this. And, one of the first things I usually talk about in a training is integrity, because the greatest superhuman power that Superman has is he uses his power for good instead of evil. So I always tell people with great, talent, with great power comes great responsibility, and sales and influence is no different. So we're going to go over 3 things tonight. You're going to walk away with a ton of value, and we can take you guys as far as you want to go. Rich heard that I was doing an event in Austin, Texas, and I said, well, I don't want to plug it. And he goes, no, you should plug it. That 2-day event changed my life. So I'll talk about that at the end if you guys want. But the first thing I'm going to share with you guys is the power of questions. And one of the things that I've noticed in my real estate investment career is, and just overall sales and influence career, is whoever's doing the most talking is really enjoying themselves, right? You guys could be bored to tears right now, but I'm having a great time because I'm the one doing all the talking. But the problem that a lot of people run into in a sales or negotiation situation is they think they have to do all the talking, and the more talking they do, they're actually getting further away from where they ultimately want to be, or that prospect or that person wants to be, or that seller, that real estate agent, that private lender, that contractor, that buyer, whoever it is. We actually get further away by talking too much. So one thing I teach at my 2-day class, and I actually start with this, is stimulus and response, right? When we put out information, we get information back, right? Stimulus and response, cause and effect. One of the greatest stimuluses there is asking questions, right? Because think about what questions do, right? It demands people to think. What's interesting is if you guys test this with your spouse, partner, significant other, kids, grandkids, whoever, ask them a question like as simple as, Rich, I'll ask you a question, and let's see if I can come up with the word. I'm going to write this down, and let's see if I nail it. I don't think I've done this in front of you, Rich, but I'm going to ask for a role play. I'm going to ask Rich a question, and I guarantee I think I might come close to understand what he might say pretty quick. Hey, Rich, why are the LA Dodgers always the better team in baseball?
They spend more money. No, no, I'm joking. They got better talent.
It's what?
Better talent.
Yeah, and what else?
Money.
Okay,
coaching,
it's money.
Coaching, money, talent.
Why are the Cubs better than the St. Louis Cardinals?
Ooh,
because they spend a little money.
What was that first word you said?
Money.
No, because
talent. Coaching.
No, when I asked you the difference between the Cubs and the Cardinals, the first word you said was because.
Yeah, because true.
So what's kind of funny is if you test that with friends and family and you ask them a question where they have to go and think, while they're thinking, one of the first words that's going to come out of their mouth is because. So instantly when we ask a question, especially a comparable question, like that's what it is, right? They have to go to that part of their brain where they search for information. So some people use ums or ahs. But what most people do is they use because so they can search for the answer. So every time you're in a situation where you think you're talking too much, one of the greatest stimulus that we can do is ask a question. Because instantly now it puts them in a situation where they have to respond. That's why the power of questions is so important. I go over an entire thing about pre-question phrases, like you better ask a question before you ask a question because it won't have the right context to it. But it steers the conversation. It's perhaps the best stimulus ever. If you ever feel like you're talking too much, ask a question, right? And skilled questions, what they do is they gather information for us to use later for help people to discover what they ultimately want to do for themselves. And even more skilled questions will guide the response that we want, right? So the better skilled we are at asking those questions, the better response we're going to get. Better stimulus, better response. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, getting a different result, right? And not getting a different result. But the thing is, some of us do the same stimulus over and over with our spouse, our partner, and our significant other over and over. And we know what the response is going to be, but we never change our stimulus, right? So here's a way to ask a question, right? One example is a why question, right? What why question does is it turns them into salespeople, right? It creates causation, reason, logic, emotion. Why what they are about to say is true. It's they own it. I say this in my trainings all the time. If I say it, it could be true. If they say it, it's gospel, right? You could tell someone and debate someone until they're blue, until you're blue in the face, and you may get your point across, but you may win the battle, but you may lose the war. So one of the most important things is that we're putting the right stimulus out, but we're asking why questions. Why do you want to be a private lender? Why do you want to sell to us rather than go into a realtor, right? Why do you want to sell your house in the first place? The more we ask why questions, the more we're going to discover and gather the information we want. So the simplest question we can ask is, well, why? But once you get your answer, don't stop. There's 3 layers to wire. And think about, an onion where you just got to peel back the layers and go second and third level to understand the real emotional reasons why people are making decisions. We call that the dominant buying motive or the ultimate buying motive when we're digging and asking why questions. So what's the real reason they want to work with us? What's the real reason? Because if I tell them why they should work with us, that may be true. But if they tell us why they want to work with us or why they want to sell their house to us rather than go to a realtor, now it's gospel because it's their truth, right? So use a why question. And every time they answer, well, why is that important? All right, tell me more about that. And peel back the layers to get to the third level. And then you'll find the dominant buying motive or the reason why they want to move forward with you. Another question to ask are desire questions, right? Number one, it creates posture. We're going to talk about that in a second. It helps people reveal what they really, really want, and it brings desire to consciousness, right? What interests you the most with working with us? What interests you the most about being a private lender? There's so many people who already are private lenders. Why does that sound exciting to you guys? There's so many options you can go with working with retail clients versus investors, Mr. and Mrs. Contractor. What interests you about working with us? Like, what do you love about maybe our track record, our consistency of work, our system, our process? Again, let those people do the work for you, because what you're doing in that instance is you're creating what we call reverse selling. I could say it until I'm blue in the face, but if I get them to say what I would say, man, it makes it so much more concrete for these people. So anytime I'm in a conversation with my little 6-year-old girl, I always try to make things her idea, right? The more I make things her idea, the better. Now, here's the problem. Kids, especially 6-year-olds, I've been doing this to her since she could understand words. And I've been reverse selling my little girl and, using neuro-linguistic programming techniques on her. The problem is when kids that young start picking up things, they're sponges and they get it better than adults. She uses reverse selling on me all the time. But guys, man, it sells itself when they sell it for us, right? What if they just did it for us? And the power of asking questions can allow us to do that. Now, the problem that most people sell with is rewards and benefits. And these are the reasons why you should be working with us, which 100% of that may be true. But one of the things that I see great salespeople do or great influencers do is they focus on the discontent of their situation first, and they mine that camp of discontent, of frustration, of where they are not where they want to be, whether it's to sell their house or where they're at in their contracting business or being a private lender and making better returns and not investing in the stock market or crypto or whatever it may be. They want consistency, right? I have to mine that gold of discontent first before I offer a reward. Too often salespeople will say, hey, this knife, it cuts, it can slice, it can dice, it can do all this stuff. And it's only $19.95, right? Whatever it is. And if you buy now, you get this. Well, most great influencers I've seen is they build the world of discontent first and they mine the problem and they sit in that problem for a little while, but they help those people discover what their pain is, what their discontent is first. Then they offer a solution later, right? They offer a reward, but they mind that world of discontent before they offer that solution. Hey, why not just keep the house, right? If ever talking to a seller. So why is your 401k not enough to retire you? There's no guarantee, but if you list the house in the MLS, you may get a buyer for more than I'm offering in the next 6 to 8 months, right? And you'll have to pay a commission and you'll have to deal with open houses. Why not do that, right? Like I can paint a problem of discontent by asking a why question on the back of it and let them do the work for me. Soil the seed of discontent, because when that seed of discontent is soiled and you're the solution, you're the reward, you're the problem solver, that puts you in a place of service. But probably one of the most important things that I can press on, and this is what Maurice mentioned in that testimonial when I started, was the concept of posture, right? Now, posture is not the way you sit, right? It's not the way, you keep your chin up. Posture is a negotiation technique. And this was one of the greatest blessings that I was gifted with years ago. And it changed the game for me in every conversation that I have. And this is something I can give to you guys if you want it. It's probably the greatest gift that I was taught, which is to never argue with anybody, never debate anybody. But as soon as you argue, what happens is you are in a place of desire. So what's interesting is every time someone wants to debate me, I just agree with them, right? I can say the exact opposite of what they just said, and they might bring up their point. And I say, you know what? I agree with you. Because a long time ago, a friend of mine says, if you argue with a moron, right, that creates two morons. So whatever their stance is, don't lose your posture. Don't be the guy in the water asking for a lifesaver and using words like, hey guys, I want you to do this, and I'd love you to do this, and I hope and I wish. And it was funny when Rich got on here, because he's been to my 2-day class, and it was nails on a chalkboard, Rich, when you were saying, hey man, I love that. I love that. I love that. And now, again, this is a different thing. You're not selling anything, right? But I am so hyper aware of the way rhetoric works, the way communication works, that I'm constantly thinking what stimulus is putting out there and what response we're getting. So guys, take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this. This is something I leave up on my computer to constantly remind me to stay out of the water. And this was what Maurice was talking about earlier. This is how he got a $40,000 discount and made over $100,000 on a flip that he did, because he used out of the water conversation, out of the water grammar, and he talked about them being in the water. So what we as humans constantly do is say, I really hope you decide to be a private lender, or I'd love to work with you, and all of that is true. But think about what the conscious and the subconscious are hearing. They're hearing desperation, whether they understand it or not. So one of the greatest gifts that was given to me was use right side language, meaning allow you, capable, have, let you, grant, going to, power. Use right side language when I'm talking about me, and using left side language when I'm talking about anybody else. So Rich, I have the ability to show you how we could creatively finance your particular property, help you with your credit, get you caught up on payments, save your credit score, and actually offer you more money than I originally offered you if we go to a creative finance. Would you like to see how that works? Because I have the power to show that to you. Would you like to see it?
Absolutely.
It changes the way that it's taken in, that stimulus is taken in, just by reversing the words and using posture type sentences. Hey, we have the ability to show people how to make double-digit returns backed by real estate. Now, if that's something you want to learn about, I'd love to chat. Whoop, see, I just went out of the water. I don't want to love to do anything. I could show you how that works if you'd like to see it. If not, that's okay too. See, the world of being out of the water is a world of, I'm neutral, I'm Switzerland. Whether you do or whether you don't, I'm neutral, right? too often we use words like I'd love to help you, I'd love to show you, I can. When you really get the concept of staying out of the water in your conversations with your family, with your negotiations, with your sellers, your private lenders, your contractors, your realtors, when you get the power of staying out of the water in your everyday conversations, you're going to notice a significant difference in the way people are taking the information, because you're not arguing, you're not debating, you're neutral, you're Switzerland, right? So think about it this way. I can blank because I have blank. Do you want blank? Now, how do you do that with a contractor, a realtor, a seller, a buyer, a lender? Take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this, and put this into practice. Because to me, the most important part of what you guys are doing on stuff like this, whenever I go to learn, I just don't want to take a bunch of notes, right? I don't want to just sit there and listen to a podcast, right? To me, listening to podcasts is just taking in information. The most important part that people do is they take information in and now they go use it, right? Implementation is so much more important than education, right? I know a lot of people who are highly, highly educated and they're dumber than a box of rocks. And some of you guys might be smiling and laughing right now, because I know people who have a ton of degrees, a doctorate, attorneys, and they don't know how to, chew gum and pat their head at the same time. So to me, it's not about education. It's what you do with that information. So this is a cool thing for you guys to play with, right? What can you do because you have something and all these 5 groups of people want, right? What do private lenders want? What do buyers want? What do sellers want? What do realtors want? What do contractors want? So if you put what those people want at the end of the sentence and kind of work it backwards, you can reverse engineer your conversations and you'll notice a massive difference of how they're taking in that stimulus, right? So to me, the most important part of what we're doing tonight is implementation. And when Rich asked me, just out of curiosity, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat box if you guys took something away from tonight's call. If you learned something, if you learned something valuable, maybe learn from your own mistakes, because the most important part of spending time, because people say time is money, time is money. I don't believe that. Time is everything, right? You can make money, lose money, make money back, but we can't get back our time. And whenever I train and whenever I teach, it's more important for people to get value with that time, because time is so precious, right? Life is all about the dash. We got a start date and we got an end date on our tombstone. The dash is everything in between. So I saw a lot of comments come in that we got value. Who would like to, just out of curiosity, continue to learn this type of stuff, right? Communication, influence, negotiation. Give me a yes or give me a thumbs up if that's something you desire in 2026 to continue to learn. Because one of the things that Rich asked me to do was, hey, you're doing a training next month. I don't know if people are going to be able to get to the training, but I know you have that new course that you just created. So if you guys want, what I could do is show you guys what we're doing here in Austin in about a month. But more importantly, show you guys a new online training that I just created for people just like you, for real estate investors who are brand new or experienced. Give me a yes in the chat box if you guys would like to see what we just created and what's new and what's going on with what we're doing in the sales negotiation world. Okay, I see more chat. I need to see at least 3 or 4 more if you guys want me to show this to you. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. One more. Okay. So Rich attended a sales negotiation training with me, and he kept trying to get to it, but the dates didn't work out. And he finally got to it. And what Rich said at the beginning, which I really enjoyed, was, he's been a sales trainer for a long time, and he's done a ton of trainings. But when I added the concept of sales negotiation influence into the real estate world, I think it filled a lot of gaps for Rich. And I think it's made an impact in his business and his life, personally and professionally. Roz, Rich, one of our favorite RPM students, this guy is the ultimate nerd. And what I mean nerd, I'm jealous of him. This guy he works for a Fortune 10 company in Seattle, Washington. You could probably connect the dots. He's a part-time real estate investor. Now he's a full-time real estate investor, business owner, guys does laundromats. But he was at the beginning of his career and he was so nervous and so scared to negotiate and sell because he had this negative connotation to it. And he attended my 2-day event and the guy was just foaming at the mouth because he realized, man, if we could just equip him with tools and resources and give him a new way and a mindset shift of the way to look at sales negotiation, it can make a monster difference. And he sent this to me. He said, sales negotiation is one of those select few investments that pay off dividends every day. And to me, that's one of the greatest compliments I could ever get, because to me, this isn't about just real estate. It's not about sales and influence, about how to be a better person, how to be a better communicator. I've used the tactical skills I learned from Sean negotiating a better price for a car, in bids with my contractor, on several fix and flips, and even in negotiations with my little kid. I've saved close to $50,000 thanks to his training. And I do it again in a heartbeat just to hang out with Sean, who is a master presenter, and he'll use the skills he talks about on you during the sessions. It's kind of funny that he caught that. Talk about hands-on learning. If you can, do the training in person. It's so much more powerful, and you get to connect with the like-minded group of people and learn together. So what we've recently done is created a curriculum. People would come and learn from me 2 days, but there was no follow-up. There was nothing to continue to relearn, because the fundamentals of anything are so important. The same reason why everybody goes to the driving range, even the best professionals in golf, they got to warm up. They got to go through that technique. They do weird things with towels and balls to make sure their form is straight. LeBron James still does layups before every game. He shoots free throws before every game. The fundamentals are so important. So our students wanted lifetime access to a core curriculum of sales negotiation. And we answered that calling and we created it. And this is exactly what it looks like. So we have a basically 12, 13 module training that we take our sales negotiation students through now, but hopefully before they get to the training, but they have lifetime access to it. But to me, it's not just about this training, because again, education is not as important as implementation. So after people are done with the training, what they do is they click on our PDF file, and now they download the power of questions and they go implement what they learned. They go implement the process, because once you're done with the power of questions, I teach you something and then I make you go do it. And now you go through a bunch of exercises of how to implement this with real estate agents, with sellers, with contractors, with private lenders, with sellers, with buyers. So I give you implementation tools to implement as you're learning real time every time you go through a training. So it's education backed by implementation over and over and over again. So that's the curriculum. We just created it. We're just starting to roll it out. People are fired up about it because they have lifetime access to it. But I'm also doing a 2-day training, which I haven't done one in over a year. And we're doing it in Austin, Texas on April 21st through 22nd. It's going to be at the La Quinta Inn up in Lakeway, Texas, not far from where we live, Northwest Austin. And you guys can see the schedule. We do almost 4 hours of training in the morning. We take an hour and 15 minutes for lunch. We do about 2.5 hours in training. I based on what time we end, based on your guys' glaze over your eyes that you have with getting drilled with all this education and information. And then we have you guys at our house for dinner. We bring you to our home. The greatest way to build partnership, relationship, community is through breaking bread. So we have some drinks, we play some games, we enjoy a nice meal together. And then Wednesday, April 22nd, we repeat basically the same process. So this is April 21st, 22nd, and people have the choice now. They can go to the 2-day training or they can just purchase the curriculum. Totally up to you guys what you guys want to do moving forward. But $14.97 is what the curriculum typically retails for. And I do typically charge $24.97 for that 2-day class. But because Rich is a friend, I've known him for a long time, we're discounting the curriculum all the way down to $497. So if you just want to buy the curriculum and you just want access to that, you can. If for some reason you can make those dates, April 21st, April 22nd here in Austin, Texas. I know in St. Louis, especially, the weather's not perfect right now, so it's a good excuse to come on down here because I know what April's like in St. Louis. But what I've decided to do, Rich, is actually give people both. And so instead of paying $2,000 for the curriculum and the 2-day event, they can attend the 2-day event and have the curriculum for $14.97. Because again, Rich is a good friend. We've known him for a long time. We value his community. There's a QR code that you guys can just scan with your phone. Rich, I'll send you the link so you can email it out to everybody as well. But if you guys just want the curriculum training to have lifetime access to it, you can. If you want both the 2-day training and the curriculum, I'm discounting it for you guys down to $14.97. So when you click on the link, all you do is put in your name, email address, phone number, and you just click on, hey, do I just want the training? Do I want the training and the workshop? We also have the ability to break down payments to $749 a month for you as well. So leave it up to you guys if that's something you want to participate in. Rich told me to throw this out there to you guys, so I am, and just giving you a nice discount as well because who Rich is to our community. So Rich, I don't know time-wise how much longer you need me to talk or if you want me to do a Q&A or anything like that, but I think that's my time.
I appreciate that. No, that's awesome. If there are any questions out there, I'd love to have folks ask away if you're okay with taking them.
Yeah, totally cool.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself or drop it in the chat, whatever you'd like. Let me see if there were any questions. Will you show it to us just now? I think that was when you were asking if people would want to see what you had to show them. Any questions at all? Anybody learn anything that they could use?
I hope so.
No, that's no questions. Y'all dumbfounded right now? What's a mistake you've learned from? Oh, that's a good question.
In real estate or in sales negotiation?
Yeah, Timothy, what do you mean by that, buddy?
Because I've made a lot of mistakes in both.
Real estate, but either.
Yeah, to me, the mistake I made when I first started is I thought I could do it on my own, right? So that was the biggest thing. I needed knowledge. I needed mentors. I always tell people I'm a dummy, but I'm the greatest copycat there is. If you teach me how to drive somewhere or how to get somewhere once, I could typically get there again. That was one big thing. But the other biggest thing and I tell everybody, once you declare bankruptcy and you lose $350,000 of your own money and you lose 4 houses, you get very conservative in analyzing deals. And my wife and I are very much opposites, where if a deal makes sense and it's close to the edge of our ROI or the return that we're looking for, she's always yes, yes, yes. And I'm always like, whoa, 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 slow down. To me, the biggest mistake that I see, especially newbies make, is they don't know their numbers, right? They don't know their numbers. They don't know how to go back and negotiate to get that number to where it needs to be by offering something in exchange for a discount, right? Your ability to influence on those really, really close deals that may or may, one change order can break us on a flip, right? One thing that pops up in an inspection can kill us on a wholesale, right? So there's little things. So being overly conservative, but knowing how to go back to that seller when that number is right there and you want to move forward, but it's close. How do you go back to that seller and negotiate, right? And that's why, to me, the power of influence is so important. It can make Maurice getting a $40,000 less with dealing with someone who is difficult to deal with, but he just changed the conversation and he went out of the water instead of in the water, and bam, it made a massive difference, right? So being overly conservative, but knowing how to go back to that seller to renegotiate and offer something in exchange so that number is a little bit more conservative is probably the best advice. People have unrealistic numbers sometimes, and never figure this stuff out on your own. real estate is not an individual sport. Community is stronger than will, and the more you surround yourself with the right people, the more you can get and learn from best practices and other people's failures and successes. I know it's made a massive impact in my life.
Got one more for you, Sean. Appreciate that answer. Thank you. One more for you. Sorry, folks. I know we're right at 8:30, but I got to ask this question for you. Rory asks, how should I approach direct marketing or person-to-person sales?
Direct mail marketing or direct marketing?
Can you expand on that, Rory? You can come off mute if you want.
Well, let me just kind of answer it, Rich. And
there he is.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm right now. I wanted to get into sales a little bit, and I wanted to try to take my hand at direct marketing and person-to-person sales. Like, I'm right now. I just got a position at a company. They just got a contract, with multiple different companies, but the contract in this area is with Spectrum, and I'll be doing like going out to different places and doing, trying to do person-to-person sales
yeah,
and
yeah.
marketing.
To me, person to person or direct sales is all about rapport building first. And one of the things I teach people all the time is, everybody's heard of Ford, which is, start with family, occupation, recreation, or dreams or desires. I always do G Ford, which is geography, family, recreation, right? Occupation, drive, dreams. You never really get to recreation or dreams in a conversation, but I always ask people where they're from. Well, first thing I always do when I meet someone is, hey, where are you originally from? And people love to share, right, their journey, why they live where they live, or they're original from there and they stayed there. And there's a story behind that. And the more rapport I can build, the more trance I create. The more rapport I build, the more trust I build. And guys, that's important for sellers and agents and private lenders and contractors. We want to build that trust and build that rapport. So the more I can get people talking about themselves first, before I ever get into a product or a service or an offer or what we do or how we do it, the easier it is to go into that conversation. And the law of reciprocity says if you ask people what they do or where they're from, they're going to ask you those questions. And whenever they do, I always make my questions short, quick, to the point, because when I'm having a direct sale or I'm negotiating or I'm doing something in real estate, I always have a meter in my head for how much I'm talking, right? I don't want the meter to be 80% me and 20% them talking, right? I want the meter to be as close to 70% they're talking, 30% I'm asking questions, right? So to me, direct sales or dealing with sellers, agents, right, banks, contractors, loan companies, hard money lenders, the more rapport I can build up front, the more trust I can create, the easier it is to go into other conversations that we're going to have and other things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, can you take one more, Sean?
Yep, one more. Yep. I got to put my little girl down.
All right. Yep. Sorry. We've got James and Shelley Wren asked, is it acceptable to make Facebook posts about asking if anyone would like to make returns on real estate to get lenders?
Yeah. So one of the things that the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has rules about, offering, returns and, giving investment advice and all that stuff. We've had our conversations with our Securities and Exchange Commission attorney hundreds of times about this because, my wife teaches people how to raise capital, and she's helped, I think the last number that we just saw was Amy's helped people raise over 575 million since she started, which is insane. Is you just have to be very, very vague and talk about the possibility, but you don't talk about specifics, right? So let's say I was posting on social media in front of a house and said, you know, it's so cool that we're able to do a property like this and show people how to make double-digit returns backed by real estate. We actually have investors on this particular deal, and you could be that investor too. So if you want to learn more about how we do it, how it's structured, again, send me a DM, you know, send me your information. We'd love to hop on a Zoom. You know, don't go in the water and say we'd love, because that goes against everything I just taught. But that's kind of the concept. So the more vague you are and the less specific you are, you stay out of the hot water with the SEC, but you should always talk to your attorneys, talk to your, Securities and Exchange Commission. Don't talk to an attorney who's not specifically working with real estate investors, because I always tell people, just because people have a ton of education doesn't mean they're smart or they know what you want to do. But just be vague. Don't be specific. Don't talk about what that investor is getting, what they're doing, how it's structured. Hey guys, I show people how to make double-digit returns backed by real estate. We have a house that we're doing right here, and we have multiple investors on the deal. If you want to learn how that's structured, how the process works, you're able to hop on a Zoom with us. Just type, this into my DM, and my team will reach out to you when time is appropriate or something like that. So not specific, more vague, better off.
That's awesome. Hey, Sean, I appreciate you being here tonight. Thanks so much for spending time with us and pouring a ton of value into these folks. And I really hope some folks will take you up on this incredible opportunity you can give them. So
yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate your time. Again, thanks for having me on. And I don't know how to click out of my thing.
That's all right.
That stuff. So you can just stop the share, Rich. But God bless you guys. Enjoy your evening. Stay warm, because I know there's a lot of parts of the country that are really cold. We're flying to East Lansing, Michigan tomorrow for spring break, because when we think spring break, we think tropical and we think East Lansing. So that's
of course everybody
where
does.
We're going for spring break. But God bless you guys. Take care and good luck.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Sean. And everybody else, join us April 6th. I'm sorry we ran over time, but I thought it was really great information and we had some really good questions. Thanks everybody for being here. April 6th is the next one. I'm going to fix my posts and make sure they don't say 7 p.m. They're 7:30. Sorry. Central Time, and make sure I get the right links to you. I know a few of you had issues with the links to get in, and I apologize for that. Mary, it's good to see you. Thanks everybody so much for being here, and y'all take care. I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna shut off my camera and my mic, but if you want to stick around and talk, you can, but I'm gonna shut off everything. Put your name, phone number, email in the chat if you'd like to share that with everybody. Thanks so much, everybody.